What's going on, Capricorn? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a great week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. You're keeping this guy coming back and keeping us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of November 13th through the 19th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. The vibes are good. We're ready to jam. Now I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corners are going to be some future options we're going to play around with. The bottom left will be some perspectives that might assist you in the nature of the problem. And then finally, the bottom right will be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case y'all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Stealth deck. The imagery on these cards are super cool, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. And I've included a link below in case you want to get your own and, I don't know, pull cards with me. Could be fun, so definitely check that out. But without further ado, higher self, what do we have in store for Capricorn this week? Let me get your cards pulled and then we will get right to it. All right. Nice. Okay. Cool. Nice. Alrighty. Let me take a second to get these cards straightened up and kind of sit with them, and then we will get to it. Okay. Okay. Oh, look at that. Alrighty. Okay, Capricorn, let's do it. So, for the nature of your problem this week, we have the Two of Discs, one of your cards. And then the cards that came along with it are the Prince of Wands and the Magus card. Now, with the Two of Discs being the nature of your problem this week, I feel like we're going through we're switching things up a little bit. I feel like we're going through like a transitory period. Not necessarily like the Death card per se, like a major transformation, but I feel like we might be just kind of shaking up the routine a little bit. Maybe things have been feeling a little stagnant, just a little boring. You know, we're trying to add a little kind of zest to life. Because I feel like with the Two of Discs, the Two of Discs is getting used to that kind of fluctuation in life, that, you know, when we're good, you know, we're enjoying the good. When we're in the work, you know, we're putting in that time, doing that grind, but ultimately we're trying to find getting that sweet spot here, you know, where we're working smart and we're playing smart here. But I'm more so feeling that with this, you know, we're switching things up. I'm feeling like things have gotten a little stale. Maybe we've been in the work phase too long and we're trying to get a little bit of fun in there, you know, so that is just not feeling so routine, you know. I feel like things have been feeling kind of humdrum as of late, you know, lacking that zest for life. And, you know, before I talk about the Prince of Wands, I want to talk about the Magus, because I love that if that's the, well, I don't love that you're in a rut, but I love that you're here, because we're getting ready to start adding that joy. I feel like we're going to start doing some creation, I feel like, because the Magus is a card of, one of my cards is like manifestation. It's a card of wisdom, could be a card of business. Maybe we're getting ready to add a little fun to what we're doing at work as well. Because the one thing I love talking about with the Magus is, in all this manifestation, he's having a great old time. I mean, look at that big old smile on his face. How could you not? You're getting ready to create stuff. And I will also mention too, maybe if we're, if we haven't been, maybe we've wanted to switch things up, but maybe and you've got these like really cool ideas and we've been feeling kind of like, maybe you've pitched this idea to some people and it hasn't been received well, if that makes sense. Because I wanted to talk about this little guy here too. There's a little ape down here. And I feel like in your fun, while you're trying to find this, kind of get that zest back in your life, to not let the everyday things kind of, get in the way of that fun. Because the monkey down here, I love this little guy. The monkey down here can kind of represent just like, that like the sort of everyday life things trying to interfere with your fun, let's say. And it's not to say that he's trying to just bring down the Magus. He just wants to make sure that, hey, these are going to be the things that are kind of coming at you, the kind of, ridicules that you may face, the criticisms. And I do feel like with that, it's just to be aware to not let that get in the way of your fun. It's it's that balance, getting that, having that good time, having that work smart, play smart. And I do feel like now let's get into this Prince of Wands here. Because the Prince of Wands, I feel like whatever you're getting ready to start, whatever you're going to do to shake things up, I definitely feel like go with that confidence. And if it's something that you're not familiar with, you're just starting to get that learning, that's perfect. Because the Prince of Wands is my fake it till you make it card. Because think about it, we've all had to start somewhere. We've all been beginners at some point. And it's totally okay. As long as I feel like you're willing to show up with that, that will to learn, that will to, want to advance yourself every day and whatnot. I feel like that's going to get you in a good place overall with this energy. And you know what? Let's start on this, play around in the future a little bit. Because I want to start with this upper right-hand corner. Because you have the Ace of Wands, explosive. You got the Knight of Swords and the Lovers. Now with this Ace of Wands popping up, I feel like this is kind of almost like validating what I was saying here. I feel like you're really getting ready to do, and this honestly may even be bigger than I realized. I feel you may be really trying to shake things up, Capricorn, which I am so with. Because the Ace of Wands is about that explosive energy. Aces in general can represent new beginnings, just something really awesome getting ready to happen. And I feel like, let's talk about the Knight of Wands for a second. Because with the Knight of Wands and really the Knight of Swords, jumbled today. You got a lot of swords and a lot of wands. We're thinking and we're putting our energy, we're applying our energy, so I'm with it. But with the Knight of Swords, with the Knights, depending on the direction that they're facing, it could be the coming to or going of energy. And I feel like with the Knight, because he was facing you. So I feel like with the Knight of Swords facing you, I feel like that clarity is coming in. You're getting ready to, all the pieces are starting to come together. And I feel like we're going to get ready to go out and get it. My only thing with the Knight of Swords, and it's very similar to the Knight of Wands, is that when the Knight of Wands has his eyes set on his target, he just likes to go out and get it, but tends to not reflect along the way. So I will say that don't rush this thing, definitely as you're going into it, because this is big energy here. So make sure that we're being mindful with it, that we're appreciating the journey along the way. Because I get it, when you're excited about something, when that clarity comes into, you just want to jump out and go and get it. Because it's now everything's starting to fall into place. But I definitely feel like let's use some, not even just some patience. Let's just make sure to trust our intuition as well, as far as when to make this move. It's like really kind of become in tune with yourself. Because the lovers is a card of love. If you're looking for like companionship or that kind of love relationship. But I feel like it's talking about doing, in this instance, kind of doing something that we love. Tapping into that like imagination, that innovation, that creativity that comes with the lovers, because the lovers is the alchemical marriage. And I also like to think of it too as kind of like your higher self winking at you, because it's in really kind of like checking in as well, like I was saying. Because think of these two forms these little figures here, this is you, believe it or not. I know, how can you be at two places at once? Let me explain. You got your masculine, well, you got your masculine and your feminine energy here. And it's just like getting that oneness, and then becoming that one where we're really grooving here with our, you know, where we're in tune with our higher selves. And I feel like that's really going to help you get to, you know, make the most of this Ace of Wands energy. Because again, this is very explosive, and I'm all about it. You know what? Let's talk about, let's move into the upper left here. Because you have the Seven of Swords, the Chariot, and the Ace of Disc. Equally awesome row. So I'm loving this. I love what we're painting in this future here, Capricorn. It's really sick. But I will say, you know, in talking about this Ace of Wands, you know, let's not burn ourselves out while we're going through this change. You know, let's not get so so overzealous that we burn out too quickly. Because this is my card of burnout. You know, it's one of those things, you know, you get really excited about something. Imagine you being this main sword here, and then these 6 swords are being like the things that you're trying to take on. Individually, yeah, you can tackle these like a boss. And it's not to say that you can't multitask, but sometimes when you're going and tackling the 6 swords and you're doing that all the time, eventually that's going to wear you down. I don't know if you can tell the sword here starting not bad, but we're starting to chip here. So it's just one of those things just to remember to just to kind of slow down sometimes, you know, check in with yourself. How am I doing? Where's my energy levels at? Where's my emotional levels at? And then I feel like that's going to help you get to the Chariot, get to this win. Because the Chariot is about getting that victory, that triumph, and really kind of meditating on that win. And you know what, too? I've been kind of explaining the Chariot here recently as let's say if you haven't gotten a clear picture yet, you know, this Knight of Swords is still coming for you. You know, the pieces are, you know, we're slowly starting to get that together. You know, maybe sit down with it, do some, try to maybe do some visualizations, you know, picture yourself in this role. Because I like the Chariot in this deck, because most of the time I feel like in other decks, the Chariot is going out, you know, they're getting ready to go out and get it. So it's like, wait, I got to do this and I got to go out and get it, you know, or like, you know, there's more that's going to be along this way. Whereas this one is, this is what we want to look like. You know, this is where we want to be, where we're done with at least with this part of our chapter, you know, we're meditating on our win and really appreciating this joy, you know, this triumph that we had. So maybe, right, you know, for, you know, all that to say, maybe get like a vision board, you know, meditation, you know, whatever it is to maybe kind of help you sort of embody this energy more. Because I feel like if you can see yourself doing it and really picturing it, it makes it just that much more tangible, so that we can ace a disc. Look at this. So look at all this explosive energy you got. Abundance bomb. Because that's what the ace of disc is, just an abundance bomb. I absolutely love it. So this is something that we are starting for like a resources, you know, or if we're starting like a business, you know, shaking things up that way, then I do feel like, again, just kind of picture yourself in that role. What does abundance look like to you? How do you want this to look in the world, and how do you expect to get that back so that we can keep this Ouroboros going? You know, you give some and then you get back. You give some, then you get back. You know, how do we keep that dance going? Because that's the real money right there, keeping that consistent flow. You know what? Let's get into this, some perspectives to assist, because this is Wand City. You got 3 of Wands here, 2 of Wands, and 8 of Wands. 3 of a kind, which is dope. Because with this 3 of Wands here, and you know what? Let me kind of switch this up in order. Because with this, let's start with the 2 of Wands, just because I feel like this is our starting point here. This is that balanced energy that we need, because this is fire in its highest here, because this is Mars and Aries. So everything is aligned. Everything is like, it's just so. Oh, this is like your just get up and go card. And you would think a 2 wouldn't pack that kind of punch. It absolutely does. It's like that. It's one of those things. It's like once you've, well, where'd you go, lovers? Once that voice in your head has, you know, kind of given you direction, you're feeling like, oh yeah, this is going to get me that fulfillment that I need. This is going to get me that win. Then absolutely go. I say, you know, get ready, harness that energy and use that responsibly. Get ready, go with intention. Go with what's going to fill up your cups. Or excuse me, fill up your cups. Well, yeah, fill up your cups. That applies. Because I'm all over the place. But with this Three of Wands here, I feel like it's saying, kind of staying true to what fulfills you. Because this is a card of virtue, a card of established strength, and it's like a realization of hope. So again, if we just haven't been sure where we're going to get ready to go, I feel like this energy is, now I've lost everybody. That clarity, I feel like it's coming because you've got something's brewing here. And I do feel like, once you realize that, that once you find that thing that is really getting you out of bed every morning, that's got you so excited, good and bad, you're like, bring it on. I feel like things are going to start coming in faster than you think. It's one of those, it's kind of really just sort of waiting for those stars to line up. And it's one of those things that I feel like it's not going to take as long as you think. Because with the Eight of Wands, this is like my card of like, this is electric energy. This is about swiftness, about messages, about achievements. The one thing I will say about the Eight of Wands, it can be a card of force applied too quickly. So I just feel like make sure, again, that we're just kind of going with intention here, that we're going out and we're doing these things, we're tackling our goals, but this top arrow here, this is pointing towards this rainbow, that's towards you. Make sure that we're checking in, make sure that just everything is good here, make sure that we're still in a very balanced place, in a very, that we're ready to spread this joy around. Because this is a really, overall, I really like the Eight of Wands. I feel like it's one of those things when used paired with our intuition and all of that, great things can be accomplished. And then let's get into the messages with your higher self. Because over here you have the Six of Swords, the Fool, and the Three of Swords. Now, with the Six of Swords, this is kind of like coming through passages through difficulty, getting on the other side of things, and really kind of having that clarity to that directed knowledge. And I do, again, it's kind of like with that Knight of Swords energy. I feel like your higher self is coming to let you know that thing that's really going to bring you that joy, that's really going to kind of shake things up and just kind of add that life into your life. it's coming. Because look, you got the Fool. And that's what the Fool is all about. That spark of inspiration, that carpe diem, going to seize the day. The Fool is all this energy here. I do feel like, when you're going out with this, again, I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on that joy, because this is going to be a great undertaking that you're going on, Capricorn. Now, it's kind of weird with this that the Three of Swords is kind of thrown into the mix. But I feel like with the Three of Swords popping up, because this is a card of sorrow, card of melancholy, card is just sadness, very somber energy. But with the Three of Swords popping up, I feel like maybe, just maybe, things haven't been, I feel like just be in mind if things aren't coming as fast, or if we just have some things that we haven't addressed before we need to get onto this. We don't want to use this thing as a distraction, because I feel like this is something really exciting, and it really wants to really kind of warrant your full attention. It wants to have your, to have like you just to being in a good place. So I do feel like, make sure that we're not ignoring any kind of feelings that we're dealing with too, whether it be if we're hitting hurdles along the way, things aren't moving as fast as we would like, because we are in Mars retrograde. So that's one of the attributes of Mars retrogrades, that things kind of slow down a little bit. So if that's got us feeling a kind of way, don't sweat it in the sense of like, know that this isn't permanent. It's one of those things, as we keep going, you're going to look back at this and think, man, look at how I've grown from that. Like, thank you, Three of Swords. Thank you for helping me get to that, ultimately get to my chariot. Let's go ahead and switch back over here. So yeah, Capricorn, hopefully that makes sense. This is a pretty interesting reading. I like that, because I do feel like, I feel like the messages I feel like have been for the last couple weeks has been finding that balance of work smart, play smart. So now I really think that we're starting to bring a little fun back into our lives. I feel like you've been for a while just kind of grinding, and it just might have been just where life was at. You just might have to get you were dealing with your Three of Swords, which good one on you, Capricorn. Look at you, so productive, proactive. I'm all about it. But yeah, I feel like now we're starting to get to this place where something, you're getting that spark back again. Things are, we're starting to get some wins again. We're starting to get that momentum. So just keep that faith, keep it going strong. And I do feel like it's going to, there's going to be some good things coming in the next couple of weeks, leading into the new year. So roll with it. Yeah. Hopefully that resonated with you all. If so, please subscribe, like, share, do all those YouTube things. And just for a better picture of yourself, because it might be too, like I said, if some of us if that clarity hasn't quite come there yet, because I feel like it's close, check your moon, check your rising. And this week we're checking our, oddly enough, we're checking our Saturn, your ruler. But, it's one of those things maybe, when I talk about just like checking these, you would think it's like, Justin, these are so random what you ask us to check. And they might be until you get into them and it's just like, oh, I hadn't thought about that being a strength of myself, or I hadn't pictured what I would look like in this role. Like, for example, I have a bunch of Leo on my chart. I got my rising, my Mercury, my Venus, my Mars, and my Jupiter are all Leo. And, that's a lot of like confidence and like leadership and bringing that sunshine all the time. And it's just like, some of that I embodied, but I was like, leader, what does that look like? And it adds a little something in there, gives you a little more, add some layers to yourself, it gives you some more depth, all that nuance that you are, Capricorn. And you know what else is going to make you nuanced? Celestial News Weekly. That's what. All right, I'm starting to get better at that. It's still like a touch awkward, but we're getting there, Capricorn, slowly but surely. But let's get some more tools in your belt so that we can get out and make this whole thing happen. So, on the 16th, you have Venus is going to be entering Sagittarius. And with this energy, with Venus kind of coming out of Scorpio, maybe our love and relationships have been kind of heavy because, Scorpio likes to we're bringing some depth in here. We're doing a deep dive. But now we're kind of coming out of this, getting into Sagittarius season. And now the energies, at least the romantic energies, are getting a little bit lighter, a little more playful. And then you just kind of feel like this impetus to find like a truth and higher meaning in what you love, and in the sense of like, I feel like, oh, where'd you go? That's perfect. It's very Three of Wands energy. What do you hold? If this is gonna be weird. If the Lovers and Three of Wands had a baby, it would be Venus and Sagittarius. And it's just like, stay with me. It's just like, just finding, trusting that intuition and really doing, once you know what you love and really like digging into that and finding the layers of that and why do you love it? What is it that excites you? What is it that, and then feeding that and then, watch that grow. And while you're doing that, also on the same day is going to be there's a last quarter moon. And this is like harvesting time. All those seeds that you planted from the last new moon, they come to fruition at the full moon. Now we're we're trimming things out. We're seeing what's worked. We're trimming away what hasn't worked. And then we're getting ready to get some things prepared for the next new moon to come. So this could be a good time too, just to do some analysis, kind of check in, where's your life at? Where's our projects at? Is this where we want it to be? And if not, let's adjust. Let's throw in a little change and do a little manifestation. I'm with this. Next, because Sagittarius is throwing such a great party, Mercury wants to show up. And with this time, it's happened on the 17th, I didn't mention it. And it's a time for like philosophizing, passionate debates, and just like really just kind of keeping an open mind in general. So this could be too, if you got someone that you normally like kind of bounce ideas off, if we haven't figured out quite where this energy is going yet, this could be a time too, just kind of hear some different options. I had just I talked with a buddy not too long ago just about some ideas for my channel and things like, like, I was thinking about doing it this way, and he had came at me with a different approach. I was just like, wow, you just made my life like 100 times easier. You're the greatest. And it could just be something like that, maybe kind of checking in to see if there's some fresh perspectives that can kind of liven this up into, because you're already shaking it up. But so let's just throw some more stuff in the mix. And this could be a good time too if this is something that requires you to do any kind of learning or anything like that, whether it be higher learning, going back to school, or you could just, go on YouTube. There's another, there's this little app that I like to use, Academia, or it's a website too. You could just pull up stuff as well. Just a bunch of random articles and things, like different papers and stuff like that. There's so much information all over the place. So, just like have at it, enjoy yourself. Okay, let's do some aspects, and then I will get you out of here. Oh, well, then I'll get you a surprise card too. Can't forget the surprise card. So the sun is going to be trine with Neptune. And, oh, I love it. All your cards are coordinating with this very well. This is like shining a light on our imagination and our spirituality, and really kind of getting that, finding that sense of psychic attunement with ourselves, which kind of leads to this kind of peaceful feeling towards others. So it really is kind of like a time is expanding that spirituality, and then like expanding your compassion too. And it's just like a really opportune time. Like I was saying, maybe you can find too, if you're looking to kind of help others as well, maybe finding a way to, once you've gotten your foundation with this, with whatever this is what you're cooking up here, maybe find out how it can help others. And then that can get you just another layer of fulfillment on top of all this joy you're already getting for this. Wouldn't that be lovely? And some stones that might help you, or some crystals that might help you along with this energy. Good old sunstone, and a celestite as well would be good with this energy. Next, because Mercury and Venus are partying for a while, they are Mercury's conjunct with Venus. And with this, Venus is kind of bringing some sensuality into our conversations. You might be feeling like things have, you might be feeling a little more debonair, a little smooth, a little suave, as I feel like very James Bond type of, hello there. Yeah, that's my James Bond. But during this time, moving on, that conversations may be maybe centered around like kind of the finer things, talking about art, romance, maybe finances, just like very lavish type of time, very earth energy type thing. So, if you got some Taurus friends, if you need an example for that, hit up Taurus. I feel like they're going to be reveling in this energy. And then some good crystals to work with this is going to be, before I forget with this energy, because the more ideal, or not that isn't ideal, but another kind of bonus with this energy is that people might feel a little more receptive, just because we're in that state of just like, what's your idea? You know what? Yeah, let's give it a try. But I'm over exaggerating a little bit. But in our world, that's how things are going down. So let's make that happen. And some crystals that will assist with that are some quartz or an opal as well. Lastly, you got Mars squared with Jupiter. And with this time, it's not quite, he's a good substitute. This energy is more so kind of Knight of Wands energy, but the Knight of Swords can, oops, it's a little bright. The Knight of Swords can still kind of apply to this because it's about, you're feeling this overabundance of energy. You got your Ace of Wands here. We're feeling, well, you got your Ace of Wands, your Two of Wands, your Three of Wands. You got like almost every wand. You got all this energy, and I bet you, it's one of those things you feel like you can just move mountains. There is nothing that you can't do. The only caveat with that is, especially with when I talk about the Knight of Wands, is one of those things, make sure that we're going with intention. Let's keep our Three of Wands in mind, because whenever I talk about the Knight of Wands, if we're not going with any direction, that is the quickest way to a hangman situation. If you're just like going and going and going and going, and then just hitting the wall every single time, yeah, bet your higher self is just like, all right, buddy, come on, let's cut this out. So that's just one thing just to be mindful of, with this energy going in. And some, I didn't write down the stones. I feel like with Jupiter, it's yellow jasper, and then Mars, it's garnet. Oh, I got to look into that. Nature of my problem. But it's fine, because we got this, Capricorn. Now, thank you for sticking along with me. Let me get your surprise card so I can get you out of here. All right. Not bad. Hang with me. I know how this, come on, guy. I know how this looks. But I feel like with the Five of Swords popping up, all that the Five of Swords is saying is, while we're going through all of this, if things aren't quite, if we hit those hurdles, we know things might stagnate a little bit, just, Mars retrograde. I have things that I'm waiting on, and I have to constantly tell myself, Mars retrograde, and then it's not great, but it just makes it just a little bit better. And that's what I feel like this is just popping up. Just like don't let the little win, or even the big losses, if you will, don't let them defeat you. Let them strengthen you. It's like, when they're happening, I get having to be in it. Can totally understand. But once you've processed it, not letting it bring you down. Just like, okay, what did I learn from that? And then going out and tackling that day again. Knight of Swords, all these wands energy, so that we can Chariot, so that we can the Fool, so that we can Magus. And do a little Lovers too, because let's just get all of our major, because man, your higher self is playing behind the scenes. So let's make the most of that. All right, Capricorn, I appreciate you staying with me. Stay safe out there. Let's keep raising that vibration, and I will catch you on the next one later.